everyone's doing well, keeping their spirits up. So, making your way to your mat. You're going to start in a comfortable seated position, so you can sit on your knees, you can sit in easy seated pose, maybe lining up the ankles. Starting to just settle into the space that you're in, rooting down through the sit bones, noticing the support of the earth beneath you. Maybe you want to start to close the eyes, going inward for the next few moments. Bringing your awareness inward, elongating through the spine and the neck, the crown. Maybe you can even imagine that there's a string from the heavens pulling your crown up. Now bringing your awareness into your breath. So noticing the rise of the breath as it starts in the belly and then makes its way up through the lungs. Long, slow, and serene inhales. Taking a moment to notice that pause at the top of the inhalation. And a long, slow exhalation. Taking a moment to notice the pause at the bottom of the exhalation. Continuing to follow the path of the breath. Maybe you can even start to extend the inhalation. Taking a few moments here, following the path of your breath at your own pace. Keeping the eyes closed, tuning in, going inward. So remembering throughout our practice today, using our breath to keep us anchored to the present moment. So if your mind does wander, which it inevitably will, bringing it back to the breath. Back to the inhalation, back to the exhalation, following its path. So through today's practice, we want to encourage the cultivation of creativity. So we're going to begin with a mantra. And this mantra is the sound of Vam. So Vam is the mantra that connects us to our sacral chakra. As we chant it, we'll imagine this sound with the color of orange, invigorating creativity within that chakra. So taking the hands in front of you, we're going to place our right palm on top of our left, connecting the thumbs here. And we're going to make the sound of Vam for the next minute. So take a deep inhale. Vam, 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 vam. 3 more. Vam, vam, vam. Taking a few more breaths. And then as you feel ready, we're going to make our way into child's pose. So the knees can be spread wide apart. They can be together. Today we're going to be doing a lot of work in our hips, one of the places in our body that we can channel creativity. So maybe you want to keep them wide here. So starting to sink the hips back to the heels, reaching the palms forward, rooting down through the palms, starting to settle in, grounding down through the earth. Maybe resting that space between the brow onto the earth. Taking a few breaths here. Maybe starting to incorporate your Ujjayi breath if you practice that. That breath that sounds like the ocean. After your next round of breath, on an inhale, we're going to be rising up into cat. So big inhale. As you stack the shoulders over the wrist, on an exhale, we're going to arch the low spine, shine the heart forward, and sink it back into child's pose, Balasana. Inhale to rise. Stacking shoulders over the wrists once they get there, arching the low spine, gaze and heart lift, sinking it back. A few more at your own pace. Two more here. Inhale to rise. Tucking belly to spine, full curvature of the spine. And then as you exhale, arching the low back, gaze and heart lift, sink it back. Inhale to rise. Exhale to sink it back. Next inhalation, we're rising up to tabletop. And then starting to get some more movement into our hips. So big hip circles, so taking the right hip down to the right heel. Circling it around, letting these movements be as big or as small as you want to. Really starting to lubricate around the hips. Continuing to link this movement with your breath, so letting the breath be your guide throughout this practice and letting your movement follow. Changing the rotation of your hips whenever you feel ready. your next rotation, we're coming back up to tabletop. Again, really thinking about tuning into the body and being creative throughout your practice today. So do what your body feels called to do. It doesn't have to necessarily look what I'm doing, like what I'm doing or what Bailey's doing, but listening to your body. Maybe your movement can become more fluid today. So again, keeping our movement linked with our breath, we're going to start with some belly rolls. So creating that full circle of with our belly, taking it all the way, taking belly to spine, and then lowering it down. Really feeling into it, make it feel good, make it feel juicy. Again, whenever you're ready, feel ready, starting to swap the rotation. And then after your next round of breath, sinking it back into child's pose again. Maybe this time in child's pose, just rocking the hips back and forth, side to side. Again, doing what feels good to your body. Maybe imagining in your mind's eye sending breath into the hips, the joints and the sockets. Next inhalation, we're going to rise up to tabletop. We're going to slide it forward just a little bit. So again, stacking the shoulders over the wrists. Once we are here, on an exhalation, we're going to lower down to keeping the elbows tucked into the side body. We're going to lower down on the exhale. Inhale, push it back up, starting to build a little heat. And then as you exhale, we're going to imagine like our tail is a fishtail and we're backing away from a predator. So sinking it back into Balasana. Inhale to rise, coming forward. Exhale, lower down, chest and chin to the earth. Inhale, push it back up. And then as you exhale, fishtail it back into Balasana. Inhale, rising up to tabletop, coming forward just a bit. Exhale, lower chest and chin to the earth, elbows tucked into the side body. Inhale, pushing our way back up. And as you exhale, fishtailing it back. We've got one more here. Inhale to rise. Exhale, lower down, chest and chin. Inhale, push it back up. Exhale, fishtail it back. Next inhalation, we're coming up to tabletop again. And then we're going to tuck the toes under. So lifting the knees off of the earth, long in the spine and the neck, gazing down at the earth. We're going to be here for 5 breaths. So again, starting to build a little more heat in the body. Continuing to follow the path of your breath. Let it keep you anchored. 3 more rounds of breath here. Last one. Take an inhale. This time as you exhale, you're going to arch the low spine again and then push it back like a wave into downward facing dog. Taking this first downward facing dog just to do whatever might feel good. Maybe pedaling out the feet or tick-tocking the hips. And then settling into stillness. So pressing evenly into the palms of the hands and the feet. Melting the heart towards the earth, sinking the heels down. Take an inhale. And then as you exhale, we're coming coming back down to tabletop again, except floating the knees. So continuing to build that heat in the body. We're going to do that one more time. So 5 breaths here, pushing out through the shoulders, following the breath. Last one. You got this. Take a big inhale. And then as you exhale, arch the low spine. Take it back to downward facing dog like a wave. We're going to be here for 3 breaths. After your 3rd round of breath, we're going to make our way to the top of the mat, but we're going to take our legs out to the side as we walk. So taking the right leg out and then stepping it in front of the left. Taking the left leg out, stepping it in front of the right, and so on until you reach the top of your mat. Coming into a forward fold. So bending the knees as much as you like. You can rest the chest on the thighs. Just taking a moment here. You can rest the palms on the earth. You can wrap them behind. Imagining your head as like a bowling ball. Just let gravity do its thing. Maybe you want to nod it or shake it. And then slowly we're going to rise all the way up, coming into standing, coming into Tadasana. And Bailey will take it from here.
Top of the mat. Let's take the feet a little wider. So hip width distance apart or so. On an inhale, float the arms up overhead. Big breath. As you exhale, call the hands through heart center. Drop the arms down, flip the palms forward. And then round, curl into the heart. Drop the chin into the chest. Come back into Uttanasana, that fold with really bent knees. And then we're just going to reverse. So on an inhale, take your time. Bend the knees deeply like you're sitting back into chair, Utkatasana. And then start to roll, rise, chin to chest till that last moment. Stand tall, lift the heart, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, hands together through heart center. Drop the arms, palms forward. Curl into the heart. So like one of those little slinky snakes. Right, all the way down again, bending the knees like you're moving through chair. Inhale, come all the way to stand. Wrap the shoulders, let the heart lift the chin, reach the arms, breath in. Exhale, hands together. Drop the arms, open palms. Again, that curling, that rounding. Right, just starting to find a flow. Inhaling to rise. Svadhisthana, the sacral chakra, right, rules that fluid movement. The element that controls that chakra is the water element, the one that we can harness to cultivate that creativity. Let's do one more. Inhaling all the way to stand. Exhale. This time we'll roll, rise, come to stand. Float the arms up and overhead, fill the lungs. Exhaling to pause, hands together, heart center. From here, chair pose, bend the knees, Utkatasana. Arms float overhead, or hands together, heart center. Shifting majority of the weight into the heels, but keep the toes down. Hug in through the low ribs. Take one more inhale. As you exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana, take a bow. On an inhale, wave forward, half lift, Ardha Uttanasana. And then as you exhale, right foot stays, step the left foot back. Drop the left knee to the mat. Pressing the hips forward, find strength in the legs. Inhale to rise, arms overhead, big breath. And pulling low ribs from front thigh. So we find an equal strength and flexibility in the hips to balance out the sacral chakra. Next exhale, drop the hands to the mat. As you inhale, step back, plank pose. Right foot to meet the left. Strong through the body, hugging in through the forearms, long through the spine. We'll take one more inhale here. And then as you exhale, lower all the way down to the belly. 2 rounds of cobra pose, elbows stay in. Inhale to lift. Exhale and lower. Full waves of breath, inhaling to rise. The in-breath supports the lifting. Exhale, back to mat. Tucking the toes, you can keep the knees down or lift the knees into the thighs. Take an inhale. As you exhale, press up, plank pose, back into downward facing dog. Full cycle of breath, down dog. Next inhale, float your right leg high. Let all 5 toes turn down, hug in through the inner thighs. Right, strengthening through the legs. And then as you exhale, we're going to round in. Step the foot just halfway towards the hands. Lift the left leg towards the sky. It's like a half 3-legged downward facing dog, somewhere between down dog and standing splits. And then as you exhale, we're going to step the left foot between the hands, standing splits, right leg high. So now completely folding out over that left thigh, crown down towards the toes. Taking one more inhale here. As you exhale, step the right foot to meet the left, bend the knees. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Sink it low. Next exhale, we'll forward fold. On an inhale, wave forward, half lift. This time, left foot stays, right foot to the back of the mat. Dropping your right knee to the mat. Again, that hug in through the low legs. Inhale to lift the arms. Full length from the waist to fingertips. Next exhale, we'll draw the hands to the earth, plug in, step back, plank pose, in breath. As you exhale, lower all the way down to the belly. In 2 rounds of that cobra, find your flow. Inhale to rise, exhale and lower. Hugging in through the back side, inhale to lift. Exhale, give back. Tuck the toes, maybe knees lift, take an in-breath. As you exhale, press the earth away, back into downward facing dog. Inhale, exhale. Next inhale, left leg high. Again, toes stay turning down. Strengthening through the legs, all the way out of that left heel. And then we ride the breath. Exhale, step the foot halfway between the hands, lift the right leg high. Stay plugged in, full palms connected to the earth. And next exhale, we'll round, step the right foot to the top of the mat between the hands, left leg reaches, standing splits. Leading from those left toes. Next exhale, left foot to meet the right, bend the knees. Inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana. A little swifter with the breath. Exhale, forward fold. Find your flow. Inhale, wave forward. Exhale, right foot stays, left foot back. Drop the knee to the mat. Inhale, arms overhead. Maybe a little lean this time into the back side. Exhale, hands travel to mat, tuck the toes. Inhale, step back, plank pose. Exhale, this time you could lower halfway to chaturanga or all the way back to the belly. Inhale one time, up dog or cobra. Exhale, your way back, downward facing dog. Down dog, inhale, reset, exhale, let it go. Next inhale, right leg high. Again, one long line, hands to heel. And then inhale, step in, standing splits, right into it, left leg reaches. Maybe taking it a little bit deeper this time, hands can walk back in line with the toes or hands to ankle for that supreme balance. Taking one more full breath, fill the shape. And then as you exhale, step the left foot to meet the right. Again, bending the knees, inhale, arms float, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold, let it go. Inhale, way forward, half lift. This time, right foot back, right knee to mat. Inhale, low crescent. Exhale, hands to earth. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, your way back, downward facing dog, your flow. Down dog, inhale. Exhale. Next inhale, left leg high. As you exhale, round in, land the foot between the hands. Inhale, step in, standing splits, right leg reaches. Next exhale, nope, we'll stay, 2 more breaths. That moment to play, to create your own shape. Now, next exhale, right foot to meet the left. Again, we'll bend the knees, inhale, chair pose. This time, as you exhale, forward fold, let it go. On an inhale, way forward, half lift. Breathe in all sides. Exhale, hands to mat. Your way back into downward facing dog. You could float to chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take a pause. About 3 full breaths. If you need that rest in child's pose or kneeling position, those options are always available. Coming back to that intention of cultivating creativity, of tapping into our sensuality, our sexuality, our pleasure, our abundance, that energy center right below the navel. Next inhale, float your right leg high. As you exhale, round the knee into the chest, and then we're going to cross the right ankle on top of the left thigh, so like a figure 4. Yeah, keep pressing back chest to legs, right knee towards the back of the room, left heel heavy. You can always put a little bend to the left knee, and I actually encourage you to do that here. Next exhale, start to walk the hands back to the left foot, the left leg. So coming to the back of the mat. Just thinking a little bit deeper, bend that left knee like you're moving into chair pose or a temple squat. Starting to get light on the fingertips, lift the heart, lift the gaze. And then see if you can bring hands together at heart center. And pressing right into left, left into right. Feeling all 4 corners of that left foot. Next inhale, we're gonna rise. Reach the arms overhead, hug that right knee into chest crane pose. Get tall. And then we're gonna take a big step forward with your right foot moving into airplane, take flight. Left leg lifts, arms go back like airplane wings. You can always drop the fingertips to the earth underneath the shoulders. Lift out of that left inner thigh. Pull the triceps in towards one another like the shoulder blades are kissing behind the back of the heart space. Take another exhale, stay. If you'd like, on an inhale, sweep the arms forward, lead through the fingers. And then again, exhale, brush the arms back like airplane wings. 2 more times, inhale forward. Exhale back. 1 more, inhale to reach. Exhale that airplane. Start to bend into the right knee. Step the left foot to the mat, crescent lunge, heel lifts. Inhale, arms overhead. Bend deeply into that front knee. Lift the back of the left thigh to the sky. Again, keeping called into center, that deep connection to center in the sacral chakra as the low ribs pull in. We'll take 1 more inhale here. As you exhale, bring hands together, heart center. Take a twist to the right side, left arm outside of thigh. You can always drop that left knee to the mat. You can always come right shoulder. Hands can stay together, or if you have that leverage, you can open the arms wide. If arms are open on an exhale, bring hands together, heart center. On an inhale, we're going to press big sweeping motion warrior two to the left side of the room of your mat. Arms go wide. Feeling that hug in of the low legs, the thighs spreading. Next exhale, straighten your front leg. Bump in your back foot, maybe 3 or 6 inches, and then turn the toes slightly forward. On an inhale, sway the hips, moving into triangle pose. Exhale, add the arms, right arm low, left arm high. And like you're pressing in opposite ways, up through the left side, down through the right. Staying with the breath. Next inhale, reverse your warrior, bend your right knee. Any dance or adjustment of the feet in between, big sweep, opening through the right side. Next exhale, circle the hands to mat, give back, downward facing dog. Maybe that clearing breath, that release of heat if needed. Big inhale through the nose. Open the mouth, exhale, letting it go. Coming back into that Ujjayi, that victorious breathing, that ebb and flow, that rise and fall. Next inhale, float your left leg high. As you exhale, a little round into the self, and then cross the ankle on top of the thigh. Again, sinking back into this figure 4 down dog. Staying active through the left foot, pull the left knee back. And breathe. And next exhale, start to walk the hands back to your standing leg, to the back of the mat. Bend deeper into the right knee, and just starting to get light on the fingertips. Using that support of the earth, press into the earth, let the earth rebound the body, start to lift the arms. Maybe hands together, maybe arms reach forward. Next inhale, come all the way to stand, crane pose, hug the left knee into chest, arms overhead. Pull the toes back to the knee, and then that big step forward, grounded, or airplane, warrior 3, arms go back. Body parallel to the mat. Again, hugging in through the triceps, pinky fingers turn in towards one another. If you like, on an inhale, reach those arms forward, drawing those lines of energy. Exhale, spread it wide and back. 2 more times, inhale. Exhale. Squeeze the arms, inhale. Exhale. This time, little bend to left knee. Step the right foot to meet the mat. Inhale, float the arms high, crescent lunge. Hugging in through the outer hips. Next exhale, hands together, heart center. Take a twist to the left. Right arm outside of thigh. Again, you can drop that right knee to mat. Maybe come into that open twist, that dragonfly. Hands can stay, arms can grow. Leading from that back heel all the way out of the crown of the head. If arms are wide, bring the hands back together. And then on an inhale, big sweep, big circle with the arms, opening into warrior 2. Exhale to land you. Gazing forward, soft through the gaze. And we'll start to straighten that front leg. Bumping in the back foot just a little, shortening your stance. And then on an inhale, that sway of the hips, lengthen through the side body. Exhale to add in the arms. So a lot of hip opening today. If any emotions come forward, for a lot of us we hold a lot in our hips. Just breathing in and breathing out, feeling through it. With breath tied to sensation, mind tied to drishti. And next inhale, we'll start to rise, reverse your warrior. Rebend that left knee, left arm up and over. Exhale, big circle, hands to mat. Downward facing dog. And down dog, inhale. Exhale. Next inhale, float your right leg high. This time, if you like, you can bend and stack. Right hip on top of left. Leading from that right knee, heel falls into your seat. Next exhale, let's come forward, tapping the right knee to right arm. Give it a little tap. Inhale to take it back. Exhaling, knee to opposite arm. Again, a little tap, a little kiss. And then inhale to extend. Exhale, round in, knee to nose. Landing the foot between the hands. Rising into crescent lunge, arms overhead. So finding a flow, crescent lunge is going to be our inhale to lift. And then as you exhale, you're going to lightly place that left knee to the mat. Straighten your front leg. It helps to keep the back toes tucked. And let the arms sweep back like airplane wings. So inhale, you're going to rebend that front knee, sweep the arms, lift into high crescent. Exhale, slowly lower, arms brush back, that half split shape. 3 more times. Inhale, breathe in. Getting as creative as you'd like to in these little flows. All right, if something else would feel better in the body, then do it. Our bodies are all so different. We tap into our unique creativity, our unique vibration and frequency. One more time. Let's meet in that half split, arms reaching back, crown of the head reaching forward. Again, hugging in through the low legs. Staying with your breath. From here, we're going to come forward into a lizard lunge. So bend into that right knee, both hands inside. Heel toeing that right foot a little over to the right. If you'd like, you can come onto the top of that back foot. We're going to pause for a moment. You can drop down onto the forearms. You can even rock the hips a little forward, back, side to side, staying in that fluid motion. But even when we're holding shapes, you still have that fluidity of the breath. The breath is still moving in and out. Never a pause in the breath, just a deepening. You can stay right where you are. You could even reach back right arm for left foot or ankle, pulling that heel into your seat, getting a stretch in the quad. And just staying tied to your own inner listening, that body wisdom, through the breath. And when you're ready, start to release. We'll come back onto the hands here. So pressing onto the hands. Turn the right toes forward if they're not already. Tuck the back toes, lift the knee, and then ground the heel to the mat. We're going to reach that right arm forward, out in front of the toes. Forward in front of the toes. Almost like your armpit here is just resting on your right knee. And then we're going to step in half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. Big step into that right side. Get big and expansive through the left. Radiate. You can stay right here. You could bend the top leg. Ardha Chandrasana, Chapasana, reaching back, left hand for left foot or ankle. Kicking the foot into the hand, lengthening the tail to that left knee. A little lean into the back side. If you're bound, next inhale, begin to open. As you exhale, we're going to turn down to the ground, square off the hips and shoulders, coming onto the fingertips, Shiva squat, tapping that left knee behind the right calf. Bringing hands together at heart center, lift the heart, lift the gaze. On an inhale, we're going to come back into that crane pose, arms overhead, left knee into chest. Moving into a twist, right hand can either come to the knife edge of that left foot or to the outer left knee. Sweep that left arm back. Stand strong through that right leg. And hugging through the outer hips, activate. Next inhale, we're going to reverse our way, coming right back into half moon. So maybe the upper body from the waist up stays open to the left. We're going to release, dropping the right fingertips down. Half moon pose. Steady in transition. As seamless as you can be, your own dance with your own breath. Taking one more inhale. And then as you exhale, coming into a Malasana squat at the top of the mat, stepping the left foot to meet the right, feet go wide, toes out, heels in, bend the knees. Shift it low. Try not to collapse your seat all the way to your heels. Keep a little bit of strength. Maybe the hands come together at heart center. And breathe. Every inhale, imagining that orange color, that orange pyramid, right there at our sacral chakra. Next exhale, hands go down, press into the feet, straighten the legs, turn the toes forward. Playing with crow pose, you can bring the big toes together, hands underneath the shoulders, starting to bend the knees, splay them wide, high to the back of the arms. Start to shift your weight. Maybe this is where you stay, just shifting weight into the hands, or you can let the toes come all the way into flight. Engaging the bandhas, hug the heels to your seat, big squeeze, dome through the upper back. And when you're ready, we're going to meet in downward facing dog. You could hop the feet into chaturanga, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take a breath together, down dog, inhale. Exhale. 5 full breaths. Next inhale, left leg high, 3-legged downward facing dog. Again, bending and stacking. So opening deeper through the front of that left hip flexor, the back lining of that right leg. And then as you exhale, round, come forward, tap that left knee to left arm, little kiss. Keep the hips lifted, inhale, stay connected and draw it back. Exhale, knee to opposite arm. Again, a little tap. Inhale, stay connected to center, take it back. Exhale, round in, knee to nose. Lift, press, step the foot between the hands. Inhale to rise, crescent lunge. Arms overhead. So again, here's our in-breath. And then as you exhale, drop that right knee to the mat. Straighten your front leg, arms sweep that half split pose. Inhale, rebend and lift. Exhale to lower and straighten. Continuing to flow, right? Maybe you need more than one breath to lift or one breath to lower, and that's okay. You find your own pace, your own rhythm. You ride your own current, your own wave. We'll meet back in that half split pose, hugging in through the arms, squeeze the shoulders, pull that left hip back. And then we'll come forward into that lizard lunge. lunge. Hands meet inside of that left foot. Left foot, heel toes over to the left side. Again, you can come onto the top of that back foot. You can drop down onto the forearms. You could roll to the knife edge of the left foot. So many different variations, so many different expressions. What expression meets your expression of self today? Again, you can stay here. You could take that little twist to the left, reaching back, left hand for right foot. Stretching through the quad. And we'll slowly release. From here, hands stay inside, turn the left toes forward, tuck the back toes, lift the knee, ground the back heel to the mat, and just feel for a moment, hugging that outer left hip in. And then we start to reach the left fingers forward. Staying on the fingertips, step into half moon Ardha Chandrasana. Again, getting big, taking up space through the body. Shining your own way. You could take that bind, right hand for right foot or ankle, kicking foot into the hand. Almost like you're moving into Ustrasana, leaning into the backside, offer heart. If you're bound on an inhale, begin to open. As you exhale, tuck low into that little Shiva squat. Tuck into the tight little ball. Maybe hands start to come together, heart center, or they can stay. Again, lifting heart, lifting gaze. On an inhale, power, arms overhead, right knee into chest stand, crane pose. And then as you exhale, take that twist to the right. Either hand to knee, or you can extend that right leg forward, grabbing onto the knife edge of the foot. Gaze at eye level, either to the right or back behind. Again, staying twisted to the right, we're going to open back into half moon, taking your time as you move the body through space. Left fingertips meet the mat. Inhale to press, lift, half moon. As you exhale, Malasana squat. Stepping the right foot to the top of the mat, bending the knees, take it low. We'll take another inhale here. And then as you exhale, if you want to play with that crow pose. So many options here to play with crow, right? If you are pretty comfortable in crow pose, you could connect the knees to the high to the back of the arms, find your placement of crow. Maybe you just play with lifting, lift the heels, little tap. Take the knees to the mat, see if you can lift the hands but stay connected, arms to legs. Again, just rocking forward. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, lift hands. Exhale, go down. Take flight. Right, if that's pretty easy and accessible to you, Claire Godby, thanks for the inspo. We can come into crow. Tuck the chin into the chest. Right, landing through the crown of the head. Maybe playing with a tripod headstand, starting to lift. And then our trick here will be, if this is pretty easy, to hug the knees back into the chest in reverse. See if you can press back into that crow pose. Knees high to the back of the arms. Just a moment to play. You can laugh, you can smile at yourself, right? We all begin somewhere if this is new to you. Just having fun with it. Cool, and then we'll meet when you're ready into a forward fold at the top of the mat. Uttanasana. Let's put a little bend to knees. Again, inhale, just roll through the body. All the way to stand. Inhale through the nose. Open the mouth, exhale. Coming into chair pose, bend the knees, Utkatasana. Right, sitting deeply. On an exhale, we'll bring hands together, heart center. Take a twist to the right. Left arm outside of right thigh. Right, squeezing into center, the central pillar, the central axis, tail to crown. Making sure the knees stay in line. From here, start to shift your weight into that right leg. See if you can get light and hover through the left foot. And then we're gonna slide that left leg back into revolve side angle. Ball of the left foot meets the mat. Stay twisted to the right side. From here, we're gonna open into dragonfly. Stay twisted, drop the left hand inside of the right foot. Right arm reaches up towards the sky. Starting to shift your weight into that right hand, or left hand, left arm. Moving into side plank on that left side. So you can always drop your left knee to the mat. Right, step the right foot back. You could stack or stagger the feet. You could even float that top leg. Lifting out of the hips. Option here, if that bottom leg is lifted, we're going to move into wild thing. So bending the right knee, stepping the right toes behind, outside of the left side of your mat. And then press and lift, curling the heart up towards the sky, leading through those right fingertips. Taking deep, deep breaths. Every particle of your body, full vessel involved. Taking one more inhale. And then as you exhale, we're going to come back into that side plank. Hug the right knee into the chest. Land the foot between the hands. We're going to crawl our way to a wide-legged stance to the left side of the mat. Turning the toes forward. Come onto the fingertips. Inhale. Exhale and lower. Crown of the head to the earth. Press equally through all four sides of the feet. From here, lifting the shoulder blades up to the waist, the tail up towards the sky. Next inhale, come back onto the fingertips. From here, turn the toes out, heels in, bend the knees. Hands slide to thighs, a goddess squat, goddess or horse squat. Keeping the hands to the thighs, we're just going to move here from side to side, find a little sway. So we're imagining water right there at the sacral chakra, right below the navel, the reproductive organs, that fluid movement, even seeing the color orange. And then keeping the hands to the thighs, staying steady in the legs, we're going to take an inhale and center. And then as you exhale, drop your right shoulder forward. Gaze over your left. Inhale through center, exhale other way. So just back and forth, inhale to rise, keep a squeeze of seat, exhale to the left. Again, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Last time, inhale, exhale. Inhale, stand tall, big five-pointed star. Get out of the legs, turn the toes forward. And then as you exhale, just step back to the top of the mat into Tadasana. Taking a moment, let's just place the hands right there below the navel. Just checking in, any humming or buzzing, a creation of energy. Just cultivating all of that fluid movement. When you're ready, opening the eyes. Again, bending the knees, coming back into chair pose, Utkatasana. As you exhale, taking that twist to the left, tail turns down, full rotation, pulling the right ribs to the left side. Again, starting to shift your weight into that left leg, getting light on the right. It helps to squeeze the knees and thighs to start. Hover the foot, and then slide that right leg back, setting the toes to the mat. Staying twisted to the left side. Power through the legs, back of right thigh to sky. And then from here, opening into that dragonfly, right hand inside of the left foot, left arm to sky. Charge through the legs, already shifting weight into all limbs that are connected to the earth. And then moving into side plank on your right side. Again, knee can drop as you step or stagger back. Maybe you float that top leg. Flexing through the feet. And then we're going to bend, moving into wild thing. Setting the left toes outside of the right side of mat. Press, lift high. Like you're shining that color orange up to the sky. Letting it be the highest point of the body. And then when you're ready, we're going to come back into side plank. Back into side plank. And then hugging that left knee into chest, point the toes. Hug the knee into chest, take your time, lay the foot all the way top of the mat. Turn to that wide-legged fold. A wide-legged stance. Again, coming onto the fingertips. Your variation here, you could take peace fingers to big toes, hands to ankles. You can interweave the hands behind the back. And drawing that energy up through the inner lining of the legs, inner arches of the feet, inner ankles, inner knees, inner groin. And next inhale, coming onto fingertips, halfway lift. Again, turning the toes out, bend the knees. Rise all the way into that goddess squat, arms wide. Arms can be overhead. You could cactus the arms. You can find that little sway. Let's do this. Let's just add in the arms, like a little dance. Like you're moving energy all into your surroundings. Out of the fingertips, the palm of the hands. You can imagine you're a ninja. You can imagine you're a god or goddess, because you are, that I am energy. Sending it to all areas outside of your being. We'll come back into that stillness. See if you can sink it a little bit deeper. A little bit deeper. Next inhale, big 5-pointed star. Get big. As you exhale this time, hands to mat. Find your final flow into downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, come onto the knees, kneeling position. Just take a moment to close the eyes, take a pause. And this time in our lives when we are all in a force to pause, to slow down, to take time with ourselves. All of that energy that we would normally be spending going to our jobs, going out to dinner, out with friends. We harness all of that energy within this pause into that creative wave. Whether that's cooking, baking, dancing, writing, painting, whatever that is. Even getting outside and being in nature. Taking this time to cultivate, opening our minds, opening our hearts, maybe even trying something new. When you're ready, we're going to come into tadpole or frog pose. So for tadpole, you're just going to come into a really wide child's pose, right? Big toes stay turned in towards one another, and then you can just start to melt the heart towards the earth. If you're coming into frog, you may want to grab a blanket for the knees, or you could turn to the side of your mat for a little bit more cushion. Again, knees go wide. This time, the ankles come out from the knees. Inner ankles, inner feet to the earth, to the mat. And you can stay on the hands. You could lower down onto the forearms, maybe even all the way bowing to the earth. As we sit and we pause, slowing from the more physical, the yang part of our practice into yin, it's easier for the mind to wander. So maybe you come into that visualization to keep the mind tied, to keep the mind anchored, of that color orange, with each in-breath moving and cleansing, clearing the sacral chakra. You could even visualize an orange pyramid. A pyramid is the shape of the sacral chakra. You could come back to that mantra of VAM, with a V, VAM. Inhaling VAM, exhaling VAM. More deep breaths. Ready to come out. There's really no easy way to come out of this full frog pose. So maybe pressing back onto the hands, kind of rock the hips forward, bring toes together, and then let's bring knees and thighs to touch, and just rounding into child's pose. You could reach the arms back, hands to feet. Just tapping back down. When you're ready, let's rise, all fours, tabletop position. Again, you can just sway the hips side to side like at the beginning, just feeling in. And then from here, moving into pigeon prep or half pigeon, we're going to bring our right knee to right wrist, letting the foot fall to the left. Letting that left leg extend straight back out of the hip joint. And a little hug into the low legs, taking an in-breath. And then as you exhale, bow down. just like the yin and yang symbol, there's still a little bit of strength here within our yin. We can't have one without the other. So a little hug in of the legs. Just a slight activation, very minimal, and then a surrender of the rest of the body. Even harnessing the energy that we created within this hour, this practice, to direct the mind, to weave into oneness. When you're ready on an inhale, just start to rise, walking your hands back. And just switching sides, we're going to extend the right leg, whatever you need in between, whether it's straightening the leg and rocking forward and back, maybe into that table and those sway side to side, little snake of the hips. And then we'll come left knee forward. A few breaths to get you there. A pretty amazing thing is no one will ever have our same exact genes or imprint. So each person on this planet has their own unique purpose. And when we slow down, we learn to cultivate that creativity and find our truth. Spread our light, to be the beacon. Ready, we'll start to rise, pressing into the hands, lifting yourself upright. This time we're just going to roll onto that left hip, swing both legs forward, all the way to your seat. Hands next to the hips, we'll take an inhale here. As you activate the legs, maybe the heels lift away from the earth, tucking the chin in towards the chest. Press like you can levitate right off of your mat. Take a big breath in. And then as you exhale, release forward fold. You could take hands either side of the shins or ankles if you have a blanket. You could wrap the blanket or a towel around the feet, something to grab onto. Maybe peace fingers to big toes or bind beyond the feet. Again, another inhale will lengthen, and then exhale, fold. Always put a little bend to the knees while still pressing through all corners of the feet. Next inhale, start to rise, coming back upright. We're going to take the palm of the hands, fingers turning forward underneath the seat. Like just fingers underneath the seat. And then we're going to drop the forearms to the mat. Point through the toes. Lightly kiss the crown of the head to the earth, coming into fish pose. Lifting up through the heart, through the upper back. And breathe. And then from here, pressing into the forearms, you're going to bring your chin into chest, release the hands, and come all the way onto your back. When you're ready. We'll hug the knees into the chest, big squeeze. And then moving into a twist, opening the arms wide. You could drop the hips or bump the hips an inch or two to the left. And the knees fall over to the right. Keeping the knees close into the chest. Body heavy, heavy, heavy. A little tone to belly. Inhale, come back through center. And then switching sides, maybe the hips a little to the right, knees fall to left. Starting to slow the breath. When you're ready, little tone to belly, lift back knees to chest. Wrapping arms around the shins, giving yourself a big, big squeeze in. And then when you're ready, let's open into Shavasana, your final shape. Just marinating in all of that movement, all of that mindfulness, all of that breath, that life force energy. Just swimming throughout the body and beyond. Completely letting go, heavy, 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 full surrender, full release from crown of the head to toes. back into the body, deepening the breath. Breath into movement. Movement can begin to grow. That full body stretch. Knees can come back into the chest. And then falling onto your right side, taking a pause, regrounding. When you're ready, pressing upright to a comfortable seat. Sitting tall, we'll close the eyes. Just dropping back into your senses. Whatever the ears hear, letting them hear. Whatever the nose smells, letting it smell. Whatever the mouth tastes, letting it taste. No judgment, no labeling. Whatever the eyes see with them closed, letting them see. Whatever the skin feels, letting it feel. Inhale and float the arms overhead. Big breath. And as you exhale, let the hands travel. Anjali Mudra right there at heart center. Bowing the chin into the chest. In gratitude that we can create our own energy, that we can cultivate our own creativity. And learning in that to stand in our purpose and what we're supposed to share, meant to share with the world. And we do so by going within, taking some stillness, slowing down. If you'd like to join us with the sound of Om, we'll take an inhale to prepare, breath in. Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks. If anyone's interested, we put the Vam mantra is on Beacon Yoga Spotify.